Okay, comment. Don't blink, it's your buddy, eating cheese. Doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. Oh, I forgot my charger. You guys are doing well. Today we're doing a little bit of a tower talk. It's a short, so it will not take some time. It will not take a lot of time. I have chins. I'm gonna be using chinas. So as you guys know, we have reached a new huge milestone in the tower for both the shield and the sword. I mentioned it a little bit, but I'm gonna re-mention it because of the long videos. I'll do a short version of it. We bought every single card that are for both. Now, there's possibly some new cards in the next month update, but as of right now, every single card is bought. Now we're focusing on buying module. I bought for 6,000 of module, and yes, some playthrough have it way better than others. For example, the sword and shield, the crown, I have 2 ancestral, so we're good. Like, got 2 ancestral that I love, so we're good. The sword has higher legends, so next one is mythic and then ancestral, which is gonna be super nice. I cannot wait. Now the news is actually a new tactic, right? So you guys have noticed that we played a lot more, and when I say a lot more, I do mean so much more of the tower. Now here comes the surprise, here comes the thing. Because we're playing a lot more, we're doing a higher tier. So the higher tier rewards us way more. Now, what I'm gonna start doing, this is Swiss cheese. Beautiful, nutty, fresh, a bit sweet, super good. What I'm gonna be doing is very simple. We have module that we're trying to buy. I'm going to focus on buying module. Now, I want to keep, for as long as possible, the attack health upgrade. The reason as to why is very simple. The second I'm able to use the attack in the defense, so for example, in the lab, let's say I'm finishing with defense and attack, I can upgrade other stats. That's the rule. It's a sword because we put it in a sword, it'll become a sword and shield, and this will become a shield and a sword, right? That is still the plan. The playthrough is still going to be defensive and offensive. For example, ultimate weapon. For example, the way we use a module. Now, because we are using more of it, what I'm going to start doing is upgrade a lot of my module. Why? Because I bought all of the lab, I bought all of the cards, I bought everything, and I mean everything except for module. My module sucks. It really sucks. Which is not a big deal, but this is really the way to go further. You know? And if you play more, that could be a good opportunity. This could be a lot more of a good opportunity. I don't know. I don't know. For example, on the sword, I got a huge one, which is Project Founding. Project Founding will almost make me invincible when I have the range. You know? when and only when I'm going to be finished with the attack defense upgrade, I'll be able to focus on other stuff, so health and everything. Now, this is gonna be important because I am one, and I want you guys to understand. This is gonna be very controversial, but I want you guys to understand it's important. I am one ultimate weapon for making the shield, the sword, almost invincible. Now, with this ultimate weapon, I got a lot to do, but still, what is that ultimate weapon? It is Black Hole. Black Hole. Why? Black Hole has a spell or a stat that disable range opponents. So anybody that's in a black hole will not be able to shoot you, you know? So if I can do that, because the only thing that can stop me now is going to be range. My first card mastery with sword is going to be range. We have damage for meters, we have bounce shot, we have a lot, right? So that would be my very first. And then the United people will shoot me, and then they're gonna have a really hard time getting close to the tower, right? Which would be amazing. So that would be the first thing I want to do. If I have that, I'm invincible. Now imagine, okay? Just imagine a playthrough of Shield where I have a lot of. It's gonna be a way harder though. This is gonna be super hard because with the Shield, I'll be. I don't know if I have one ultimate weapon that can change everything. I would say Death Wave, but Death Wave is only good when you have attack, which I don't have. You know? But imagine, that would be insane. That would be completely insane. Anyway, a man can dream, a man can daydream, as they say. I'm excited. I'm excited for what's coming up. We have the new update. The new update, I don't know if it's going to be meta, but I think it's going to be a big one. I don't know if it's a good one. I think it's going to be a big one. Why do I think it's going to be a big one? That's a good question. That's a very, very good question. Because Fuzz, which is the maker of this game, has been increasing the team. There's a lot more people that work for the tower. There's a lot more people that work for Tech Tree, which is the company that makes the tower. Okay, so this is possibly the longest we had to wait for an update on a bigger team. Now, the thing with Fuzz is he's also the guy behind Brick Breaker, Planet Miner. He's also the guy behind I have to be sure that we're doing everything. By the way, we have a good news also. We are a team member for our guild. That's absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So what is that? No, don't. Oh, let me check if I'm still in the same. I am in the same bracket, both. Shit, I didn't think about that when I made the tree playthrough. I did not think about that. Trust me. If I did, I would have possibly not done it. We have a full crew, the members. Me and Falcon are talking a lot, which is good because Falcon is more active than I do, and he's a cool dude, and he respected hierarchy. So, for example, he said, "I don't like this member, let's kick him out," and I'll be like, "Okay, well, I don't like him. Is that a valid reason?" Shit like that, you know. So I like the guy. So we don't know what's gonna be so like I was saying, Fuzz, when he said we made it even bigger, it doesn't account for a lot of things. So there's a possibility that Fuzz made the game himself on his own. And then there's this guy OG Sus on Discord who is also part of the team. So we don't know how big the team was. Fuzz is working for 4 things. The first one is Planet Miner, the second one is Brick Breaker. There's a 4th one, which is Idol Zen, something like that. And then there's the tower, you know? So we don't know how much the work is divided by the tower and shit like that. But I'm excited to see what's happening. We saw he has the habits of doing I don't know how much you call it. My apologies. Giving you hints. For example, when we had the Guardian, he put a picture of the Guardian. Now, you know what's insane with the Guardian? He gave us a picture of the Guardian as this is a crazy story. Um, he gave us a picture of a Guardian as a hint of what would happen, what's next, right? But the Guardian we have was a cat, and the cat only came after the second thing. So that was actually pretty cool. We're gonna change the skin. I'm gonna go for something that it goes in the water. It's gonna be thin. There's 6 Guardian skins. There's a lot of skins for the Guardian. It's nice. Yeah, I like Finn because it's in water, so it's like a shark. In a crooked little town, they were lost and never found. Fallen leaves on the ground. Will I get lost? Can you spare it down? Just one more hit, and it will be fun. Fill the goddess. It won't be one last time. Yum. Can I get a job? Can you spare it down? Just one more hit, and we'll be fine. It's. Now he gave us a pentagon. I think it's a pentagon because it's 5, right? So it's like this. Then a cube. That's not close to the top. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I'm excited. I'm excited because it could be a new enemy. It could be a new tower. It could be something with a tower. See, Fuzz in an interview said one of the biggest inspiration for his game was Geometry Dash, which is why we have different enemy from different shape, right? The different enemy from different shape, and this is basically, and you have your tower, which is unique, right? But the other one of this is huge model was Warcraft, and Warcraft has race, has heroes, has building. There's resources, so there's still a lot you can do, you know. There's a lot, and the game in itself is 4 years old, which is a lot. But at the same time, see, this is the problem that I have with the tower. It's a 4 years old game, which is a very old game. But you look at a game like Genshin Impact, which is older. Look at Arknight, which is very, very old. You look at a tons of games that dates, right? And they date. What's the oldest? What is the oldest mobile game that still plays nowadays? And it's still updated. Genshin must be 10 plus years. 10 plus years for sure. What else? Can I start? Okay, really, it looks good. It looks very good. I don't freaking know when I'm gonna start. And we're back with Nature Corn. Let's freaking go, baby. Let's freaking go. Oh merde. Oh putain. Can get no job. Just one more hit, and we'll be fine. I swear to God, this. Don't blink at your bite. Ink. Welcome to the show. How's it doing? Welcome to a good day on this 6th August 2025. Today, I'm coming in with some loss. Now, I don't know if you guys saw the video that I did, kind of struggling. I gotta say, loss is such a huge project that I'm kind of not motivated. We're going through it, we're going through the ringer, so it's not the easiest thing I've ever done, and it's kind of the hardest thing I've ever done. So, safe to say, your boy is going through the ringer. You guys heard this expression of going through the ringer? We've been through the ringer and back, you know? So, like I said, the biggest mistake, why am I feeling unmotivated? Don't worry, there's still a recap. This is just the weirdest intro you've ever seen. You thought your grandpa was weird. I'm weirder. And I have a cup. I have a cup at home, and the cup says "World." You know the cup, World Number One's dad. I'm world number one weirdo. And it was given to by my own mom. So thank you, mom. Today on the list of things to do, um, I'm sorry. I'm overcompensating the fact that I'm having a really hard time. The thing that I did that was not good was I watched a bunch of season two. We watched way too much of it. Watched way too much of it to for it to be fun. Not fun in a way that, oh my god, if I don't see this, it's gonna be caca, you know. But fun in a way of, well, how can I put this into word? I have a hard time putting things into word. I go back and I'm seeing plots that I already finished. For example, right, the raft burning. Because I watched a couple episodes after, I know it was Walt, right? For example, Jen being, Michael being sick, Charlie being a douchebag. Charlie isn't the big douchebag, you know, but it's just that we're singing, right? Kate. I legit thought that she killed her husband until I see the scene. So when I go back and I do a reveal, I'm like, no, she didn't kill anybody. So I'm spoiling myself. Now the good plot to do it would possibly be just to, oh my god, I got the clips where I killed Melania for the fourth time. By the way, you know what I just said? You're a legend. But next year there's no Melania. Next year it's Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Soul. I'm excited. I own these games. It's not a problem. So yeah, so what I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to gain some time. That way we can upload everything to YouTube and TikTok, and I can focus on this. I don't have battles tonight, so I'm gonna do like a 40 minutes video, and then I'm gonna do a TikTok live, and then I'm gonna be streaming for the rest of the night until tomorrow morning, which is 5 o'clock. We're gonna be watching Lost, doing the same mistake that we did. You know? When you left for 15 years, you said it was cigarettes. Cigarettes. Okay, I'm taking this goth chicks. She's so cute. I'm lactose intolerant. Tolerant, Dad. The fuck? Those titties. Titties. Gave me tummy ache. Even though Steady gave me tummy ache. So the girl, she's freaking hot, dude. So yeah, there you go. We're good. So I'm afraid because, for example, I'm gonna be streaming for 6 hours today, and I'm gonna be watching Lost. So that's 12 episodes. It's a position that I put myself in. Ironically, it's a mistake that I keep on doing. But then, Lost, and it's funny because when I first made my intro about Lost, it was about how bingeable the show it was, you know? The show that was super bingeable, and it was just a good time. It was just a great time. Because, again, it's one of the first shows I was able to binge. See, The Lost Walk, so Walking Dead could run. Lost Walk, so Breaking Bad could run. All of these shows that were super budgets. See, with Lost, it's from an era. Walking Dead and Breaking Bad are kind of the last one, but that was rather an era where it was still shows and the newest shows. For example, cable TV changed a lot, right? Because they used to do like, yo, we want you next week to come, so we'll put you on a cliffhanger, so you come next week, right? now shows are made to be streamed, so there's no point in putting there's a cliffhanger because we know that you're gonna watch it in a couple minutes, right? When's the last time that you saw the show? When was the last time that you saw in the show a recap of a show, a recap of last episode? It's been a while, right? Anyway, enough of the talking. Let's do the actual review. I am done. We are ready to go. We are going with Exodus now. I can freaking see. See, I can see freely now. The rain is gone. It's hard for me to do them. It's very hard for me to do them like that. However, I have to say that I'm really liking the apartment lately. I usually avoid making videos in the apartment because I don't know. It feels cramped up. It feels small, and I'm gonna be stuck in there the whole winter. So, you know. So like I was saying yesterday, did I do the? I don't know if I did the flashback. Okay, so this is part one. So we're gonna be restarting everything. So the flashback is my dearly beloved. Is it Jacqueline? It's Kate. No, this is a very special one. This is everybody and their way to. This is not. We didn't do the flashback. This is a very special one. It's odd. It's very odd because I think this is the first one. So Exodus is a three-part finale of season one. Now I think Exodus is actually a pretty good way to finish a season. Why? Because Exodus in itself is, how can I say that? We knew it was a season one because of course it was filmed. We know it for the season two, you know. However, Exodus is also the perfect example of. I thought the perfect example. If I can finish season one today, I'm gonna be very happy. I got 45 minutes to do it. We're good. It's a perfect way to finish a season because it's three-part. However, when you realize what it is, it's boring. For example, Daniel, which is the French woman, says the other will come and there's a black smoke. Then you learn that she did the black smoke herself, so it's kind of. Well, the problem is it's a thriller. When you get information like, holy shit, it's mind blowing. But then when you know it, it's like, okay, well, I knew it was gonna happen, you know. So Exodus part one, Daniel stuck to the camp, right, with a warning to the others. People will come. Survivor has to run away or hide to escape death. So the first flashback that we have, we're gonna go with the flashback again. It's Michael. Nice. That's not true. Pray tell. Pray tell. There's not a problem of overheating, but there has been tonight. So guess what? When we need to work, we need to work. Fine. So I think the flashback is the best way to do it. I think maybe a bit more complex, but there's so many of them. I'm usually good when it comes to flashback because I have to focus on one main character. So maybe a bit more complex. However, it's kind of cool because we get everything. So the first thing we got, it's Michael and his son. Walt sees you see the city, you see the view, and then he puts on Power Ranger. And you gotta feel bad for him because he doesn't have any power what to do. You know? I think you see the city and it says this is whole city, but it's not my city. So he's realized that he left the city, right? And then he freaks out. Kinda sucks because this is one of the worst moments. He's like, he tells his father, like, leave me alone. What do you understand about leave me alone? I don't know this man. This guy's a stranger. It's actually really hard, and it's all. And you see, Sawyer, and then later episode will tell him if it was me, I would slap that kid, right? And Michael is in a position where he doesn't want to slap the kid, but at the same time, I think I was slapping the kid, so I'm pro slapping. However, would I do my kids the way I was done? No. I was trying to communicate with them. However, I think there's time where I would be a bit more strict, you know. And would I reach that point? I don't think so, but I don't know. If my parents didn't hit me, I would have been taken away. I would have been put in Child Protecting Services, CPS, because I hurt myself. My father was telling me like, hey, don't jump from there. I jumped from there, I broke my leg. My father's like, hey, don't play with this. I cut myself open. So, yeah, my father had to, otherwise I wasn't gonna be his son anymore. It'd be somebody else's son, and I don't think you want to be somebody else's son. I had amazing parents. We have Jack on it. It's kind of cool because he meets this girl called Ana Lucia. Ana Lucia is gonna be super, 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 super important. I'm gonna give you a spoiler. In season 2, we meet the other people, right? And then we think it's the others. And because we see the others, we see Ana Lucia, and we know that she was on the plane. Like, okay, yeah, she's one of us, right? And it's funny because she's the only one we see. So this is really good writing. Again, there's 4 people. They threw Ana Lucia down the hole, but they're keeping our group of survivor captive. And because we know that she's a survivor, we think that it is. Or she's one of the other groups, right? So I thought that was really freaking nice. They promise each other a date, which is cool. We have Sawyer, who is kicked out of Australia, which is weird because they don't want him. So instead of, you know what he says? He says, you're gonna cost us more, which you're worth for the jail. So instead of putting you in jail, what we're gonna do is we're gonna expose you from Australia. That was pretty nice. I thought it was pretty neat. We have Kate, how dangerous she is, why there's a need for 5 guns. We have who else? Should be a couple more, right? We have Shannon and Boone, and this is kind of disgusting because Shannon is again a piece of crap. So Saeed, which is our boyfriend now, comes in and he brings it back and says, sorry, I have to do, can you please check over my bag? And she's like, sure, whatever. And then she leaves the bag there, and then she tells the airport security, like there's an Arab guy that left his bag unattended, putting Saeed in trouble, and we're actually gonna get Saeed in a big deal of problem because of Shannon. See, this is just showing how shitty she is. That's my problem. Shannon has way more time than Boone in the show, but then Boone redeemed himself by being one of the most amazing characters. Shannon is a shitty character, and the relationship is probably the only nice thing there is about her. But at the time, she's kind of unstoppable. She's kind of a B-A-B-I-T-C-H. B-I-T-C-H-E-S. That always has to swear. And then add an S because she's more than a single. She is more than one. That's pretty much it for the flashbacks. But there you go. The first thing we see is Danielle reaching the camp. So Danielle's gonna come in, and this is super cool because she comes in harmed. Now, I have a little bit of problem with her introduction. I have a little bit of problem in her camp. She just wanted to get in the camp and she's like, yo, I'm here to help you out, and I'm here. Like, she doesn't really take her precautions. She has a weapon, she has a gun, which she can shoot, but how many people can she kill? 4 or 5? How many people are there? There's 46 people. She cannot shoot them all, she cannot kill them all, right? So it comes in as unprepared. This coming from a person that survived on her own for so many years. So it feels a bit weird, you know? Next thing that we have is John and Jack that are talking about. So basically, what they're saying is, okay, well, there's this the other group that is black smoke. When they took my son, or my baby, there was some black smoke, so they're possibly coming. If they're coming after you. Now, the cool thing is, her, which is actually kind of very nice. Her side of the story would make no sense except when I got confirmation from her, from Ethan. Ethan being a bad guy, you were able to say there is bad guys. Now later on we learned that her and Ethan are on the same squad. How? Because Ethan kidnapped Claire, and Claire hurt Daniel. So that's why they were in the same camp. That's how you can deduce they were in the same camp. Bullshit you can find. You're looking for an escape. Everybody is putting themselves together. Everybody is helping. It's a super cool scene because Jax tells Michael, like, yo, you're actually doing pretty good. And at the beginning of the show, we have Arts, which is a science teacher, like I said yesterday. And Arts, the problem with Arts is that he is introduced as a character that is super important and super useful just to kill later on. So it's like, why did you introduce him, right? It's a wasted character. Is he a character that could have, like, no, character that could have been important? Yes. Could he have been doing more for the show? Absolutely. Which is a shame that he didn't do it. So you tell them, yo, this is too late. So they build up the ship super fast, and then Jack is like, yo, what do you need? I said, I need everybody to help me push the boat, and they help me push the boat. So what they do is actually a really cool system. They put palm tree there, which is a system of it's a cool thing without being a cool thing. It's a cool thing in a sense where you have this character that was recently introduced. So he's not a plot mover. You don't need it to move the plot. However, it's a character that we know that there is, and because we know that he's there, we can advance the plot in some ways. That's the pros of doing it a bit earlier. And he says, I can manage dynamics. So I want to come with you guys. However, this feels tragic because at the middle of the show, he leaves. Also, Jack brings all the gun, which is not a safe bet. We have a really cool scene where Sawyer and Jack talk. Why is it a cool scene?
A week before we all got on the plane.
Wait a second. Wait a second, yeah, I wonder, this is an important scene. It's a very important scene too. We see Sawyer, he's cutting down the mat. Which is his contribution.
Lumberjack. You knew me. Never asked you what you did. Back in the railroads. Being a wildcatter. If I can help you with that, so it worked. Got something for you.
Like he's using the gun. You want to survive? I love this show. Yeah, that's my man, that's Sawyer, that's my boy. There you go.
A week before we all got on the plane. Got stuck with this man at the bar and
Okay, this is the important part. See, Jack does the right thing. He's literally being purchased by other people. He's being putting the whole campus in danger. They have 5 guns, we don't know how many people there is. And we still give a gun to Sawyer, which is probably a gun that he needs more than Sawyer. So Sawyer sees this as a nice gesture. See, Jack, this is one of my favorite scenes of the first season, for sure. See, Jack, he sees this. Sawyer sees it and says like, well, this is a real nice thing. Sawyer regret not telling Jack about his father, because his father. So in the previous episode, we have Jack says, it's like the Red Sox will never win. And then Sawyer's like, why do you say that? It's like, oh, this is the old thing my father would say, which makes Sawyer say, oh, I know your father. Why is this so important? It is extremely important because Sawyer had a chance to do a right thing. Now, you could see Sawyer as evolving to a better person, and he regrets that. And then when he says goodbye, he's this close on to telling Jack. And then he tells a story about Jack. He tells a story how he met his father, how his father loved him, how his father was actually proud of him. He gives Jack the closure he needed. So see, there's choice to watch it. Sawyer felt obligated as a thank you for the gun, or Sawyer saw this as a opportunity, then he did the right thing. See, I think you can be an asshole your whole life. I personally believe that you can do horrible stuff in your life, it matters how you finish. For example, if there's this guy who's horrible, right? And he's horrible, he's horrible, he's horrible. And then at the end of his life, what he does is he gives money to the youth. He helps starving children. He builds bridges in impoverished countries. It's a redemption. Sawyer could be this act by Sawyer could be seen as a redemption. Is it a good redemption? No. Is it a redemption nonetheless? Yes. Is it gonna save everything and everyone? No. Are we still proud of him? Yes. See, and I meant what I said way back, like way back. Sawyer is such an asshole that whatever he does that's somewhat nice, you're impressed because like wow, I didn't expect this from Sawyer. Well, that's pretty much it. We got everybody. That's a super sweet scene. That's a very sweet scene. They're whatchamacallit? They're going around the beach to say goodbye. People are putting a letter and a bottle. Now, the letter and the bottle is not the most important scene. It's actually a pretty boring scene. It doesn't mean anything, but it is still something that's nice. However, there is importance to the letters because they'll crash. The raft will crash, and then when the raft crashes, they find the bottle back on the island, which means that these guys failed. Now the question is, these guys failed. It is a complex thing because if these guys fail, are they okay? People say, oh, we found the island, we don't know if they're okay. And nobody does more than that. It's just like, oh my god, they're dead. You know, that's it. Okay, well, too bad. Which I thought was a bit weird. And then, if this rap is a chance to get saved, then the ref exchange, you should be sad. But they're not sad. Which kind of like a problem. Again, another relationship. We got our main crew, which is now, I'm going to show you the characters. It's Early, it's Ants, it's Kate, it's Jack, and it's John. Before they leave, Kate is sad because Sawyer didn't show up to say goodbye. Sawyer didn't show up to say goodbye, which meant she doesn't have a chance to say goodbye. Art is afraid of the jungle, so he leaves and runs away. Just to come back later on and say, no, this jungle is super scary. We got Walt who's leaving and actually does something nice for Shannon. He says, and this, to be honest, is supposed to be the only nice thing that Shannon does, which is actually kind of nice. If she did something amazing in the show, this is what she did. So Walt's given the dog and said, hey, when I lost my mom, Vincent was there for me. When you lost your brother, I'm going to give you Vincent. And then we learned later on that it meant a lot to him to give Vincent. It was a nice gesture from Walt. Walt was a decent human being in this thing. Now, later on, we learned that Walt didn't make it because the raft didn't make it. And then Shannon's like, yo, I love the dog. Because, and this is cool because we saw since episode number 1 that Vincent likes to run off. He goes away, he doesn't listen to anybody. So Shannon's like, I can't lose that dog. I can't tell that kid that I lost his dog. So she cares for Vincent, for Walt, which is actually quite nice. Another flashback. We find the Black Rock, which is actually important. But one of the nicest scenes is that Sun who didn't want her husband to leave. He was doing anything for her husband not to leave. But guess what? She gives him a gift, which is super important. So I'm getting emotional because it's a really cool scene. It's sad. No, they love each other. So she gives him a list of words, phonetically speaking. So he's gonna be able to talk to Sawyer, he's gonna be able to talk to Jen. Actually, it's super nice. It's actually super important. See, that's the thing. It's actually quite a nice scene. Gives a scene. Then the next one is Jin is a good dude. I love Jin. He's like Charlie, even though Charlie's a bit of a mess. Not Sawyer. Man, that's the sad thing. Sawyer sees Jin and Sun being too close. And he looks around. He's looking for Kate. So he didn't get to say goodbye, and she didn't get to say goodbye. Everybody's